Hey, welcome back. Every so often I get asked questions on mini splits. What's a good thermostat that I can add to it that I don't have to wire to the system, and would talk to most anything that's out there on the market today, mini split wise. So I found a thermostat and I'd like to tell you about it. It's the Cielo Breez Plus. This little guy right here. It is Wi-Fi enabled, so I can control it through an app. It talks to just about any equipment out there, but today we're going to be connecting it to the Daikin system I have here in my studio. So we're going to go through this, look at it, and see what it is, and see how it works, and hope it's something you can use. Well, let's see what we got here in the box. It comes with the instructions, of course. The thermostat here, well packed. It's kind of a little bit of a booger to get out of the packaging here, but got the thermostat here. It comes with a back plate, so if I wanted to put this thing on the wall, and then it does require a dedicated power supply, either 24 volts from a transformer, or that it connects up to a wall plug through a USB cable. And get that out of there, the little wall wart that plugs onto the wall. So does not run off batteries. So if you're wanting to mount it to the wall, you're going to have to use one of these with the USB cable that comes with it. So we've got this. Now if you want this to stand on a tabletop model, it comes with a little connector here that slide up here in the bottom, locks in place. Now I've got a tabletop model. Now one of the things about this is that it does talk to your heating and air equipment through the IR signal, your infrared. Now this thing has a couple different sensors in it. There's a sensor right up here in the middle. Then it'll also broadcast out at a 45-degree angle infrared signals as well. So I can place this in the room and have my my mini split head off to one side or the other, or I can have it facing directly at the unit itself. So either way, it lends itself quite well to a bunch of different type of applications, just based on whatever your needs are. Now in the instructions, it does come with, you can have email support. They've got a number for you to call if you want to talk to them, and it gives you their times that their call center's loaded up, and they've got people manning the phones. So they've got pretty good phone support. As I went through this, setting this thing up in my studio here to test it out, I had no problems whatsoever logging this thing into my Wi-Fi router. It has two apps that you can download, one for Android and one for iOS, your Apple products. So you've got an app that you can use for either one. Now it gives you pretty good instructions on how to set up each one of those. You can scan the 2D barcodes here and select which one you want, which app you want to download, and it gives you step-by-step instructions. So I thought that was pretty handy, that it's pretty straightforward, and it doesn't, there's not a whole lot of confusion here. It set itself up pretty easy. Now with setting this thermostat up, I'm going to take my USB and I'm going to plug it into the little plug down here. This is the challenging part. There's not a whole lot of room there to get your fingers in there, but once you get that in, just make sure it's pushed all the way up. Take your little, if you're going to use this bracket, or if you're going to use the wall plate, let me get that plate out here. Comes with a wall plate, several different mounting holes here. Now this thermostat here is not the sensor. It's still going to use the sensor that's in your mini split. So this doesn't read space temperature, but you can calibrate this thing. Well, it's not going to control your mini split based on a room temperature. You're going to set your temperature that you want it to be, and then I like to calibrate this thermostat with a good temperature probe to the room to make sure that it's reading correctly. That way, whatever temperature I select for the thermostat here, it's going to maintain my room temperature, and that's what I did here at the house. So I got this back plate that I can mount on the system if I need to. I'm not using it. I've got a table that I could set this thing on, and it's going to talk directly to my head. So I'm using the tabletop model, so I put that in there, set that up there. Then I come over here and plug that in. I've got it plugged into the wall, like you can see here. Got large numbers here. It's giving you your humidity percentage here. This thing's been off, so it's not reading correctly just yet. It's giving you space temperature and set point. You can control your fan. You can speed your fan up and down here, or put it in the auto mode. You could tell it that I've already got it connected up to the Wi-Fi, because you've got the little Wi-Fi bars here telling you that it's all hooked up. So that's what it's going to look like. You'll be able to see these numbers from across the room, you know, as far as that goes. It looks pretty good in the room. It's not, you know, too big and gaudy. One of the other things that this thermostat does, if you've got vanes on your head that will move back and forth, you can control them, and it shows you what position that the vane heads are in up here in the upper corner here. So that's kind of another handy feature. It lets you see where it's at. You've got your control buttons down here in the back on the bottom of the thermostat. So if you want to be able to control it, you know, directly from the stat itself, you could certainly raise, lower temperature, change modes, or turn it off and on. And you can do this through the app as well. Now, if I don't have access to my phone or a tablet or whatever I've got the app loaded up on, and I do have the remote control handy that came with your mini split, in this case my Daikin controller here, I can still use this. It doesn't eliminate this here. All I do is point this at the thermostat, change my modes, change my settings, and that keeps my thermostat in sync with the air handler, so everything's operating accordingly to what I have here. So I'm not limited to options. So if I didn't want to get up and go to the thermostat, I don't have my phone but the remote control sitting on an end table, I usually keep this little guy here sitting on my console here in the studio, so I can reach over and change it if I want to. I typically don't bring my phone up here because it interferes with some of the equipment here. So most of the time I don't have the phone in the studio, so I can use this or go directly to here, or I can get on the tablet and access the app through the tablet. So it's pretty handy, pretty versatile. Now, one of the things to keep in mind with this thermostat, it doesn't have a temperature sensor in it that's controlling the heating and air system. The heating and air system has its own return air temperature thermistor in it. That's the one that the air conditioner is going to use. The one that's in the thermostat, it's controlling, it's looking at the room temperature and telling the air handler whether it thinks it needs to turn on and off. It does read humidity in the space, but it really can't control the humidity in the space. I haven't got it to recognize high humidity, slow the fan speed down, and turn the system on and run. So that's kind of the limitations to it, but it is a very easy, straightforward Wi-Fi connectability. It does give you the space temperature, which you can calibrate both humidity and temperature. So I did calibrate mine to what my Cooper meter, because I like the Cooper temperature probes. I like using those. I use that to calibrate both humidity and the temperature in the space, and hopefully they're synced up as close as I can get it with my Daikin system. Now, I did take it one step further. Daikin has a tool called D-Checker. D-Checker allows me to hook up to the outdoor unit, and I can see what all the thermistors inside the system are reporting. So I was able to match my thermostat up to exactly what D-Checker said my return air thermistor was at the time that it was running. So I've got it as close as I could possibly get it. The thermostat is a pretty good option if you want Wi-Fi and you want something easy to connect and easy to use. It does have to have either a line of sight directly to the infrared receiver on your air handler, either directly from the display screen straight out, or from each of the top corners at a 45-degree angle. In that range, it'll pick up and work just fine. Here I have mine set up in the room, and it's talking to my head, off the right side at the 45-degree angle. Now, using my remote control, I can come in here and change my temperature. See, it just changed to 72. My air handler accepted the command. Now I'm good to go. Well, let's look at the app itself. I can come in here, the little Cielo home app. I can open this up. Okay, I'm showing my thermostat here for the studio. I can select that. Brings it up. It shows me my set point is set to 72. And right now the room is at 75 degrees. I've got 58% humidity. Up here at the top, I'm in cool mode. My fan is in auto. And I can select the position of the vanes where I want them to blow out. I can put it in auto mode, swing mode, or whatever I want to do. I can come in here and adjust my controls. If I want to set a schedule, I can set a schedule here, and it'll raise and lower the temperature in the space. I can look at some savings here. I really haven't got into the e-saver just yet to take a look at that. I can look at my run history. So it gives me a lot of good information, or I can turn the system on and off through the power button directly through the interface. So it's pretty easy to set up. So I can come over here, I can put it in dry mode, fan only, auto motor, heat, but I don't really like auto changeover that much. I want to change it myself and switch it back and forth. You've got a settings button up here in the upper right hand corner, where I can change appearance, set my preferences that I want, log in Wi-Fi, be able to set that up, sync the AC state so I can sync the system up, or I can go in here and remove a device. Maybe I changed something out and I need to, make it work with something else. Or I could add this thermostat to another mini split that might be in a different room. So I have the flexibility to be able to do that as well and take it to another room if I need to. Or you can find out a little bit about the device by selecting About Device. But other than that, this thing is pretty straightforward. It's easy to use. It does a pretty good job of talking to the system here. I've got a nice digital display so I can see what the room is set to. Right now it's dropped since I turned the system back on this morning. It's down to 74 degrees. I'll probably keep it about 73 and here in the house. So I can come in here and raise this to 73 degrees just by grabbing that little bar and moving it and set it to 73 degrees. That seems to be my comfort range. I got a lot of electronics and musical equipment here in this room, so I need to maintain about a 50 to 55% humidity to cut down static electricity and also the wood products. So I'm able to kind of work with that and get it balanced out and have it run where I'd like it to. So I hope this helps. This is a good option. It's the Cielo Breez. So if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Like and subscribe to the channel so I can continue doing more of these videos. And if you'd like to see a future video, send me a message. Let me know what it is, and we'll see if we can't get it loaded up and help you out a little bit. Talk to you soon. Bye.